We're live. We're not on Melissa Drive at the unknown location, but we're close enough. We're close enough to the unknown location, Melissa Drive, and spend a lot of time at the unknown cemetery there in Eureka Springs, where anyway, uh, the only two unknown locations on the map. Anyway, uh, that's not for good measure. So Melissa wanted me to do a video on explaining, my geosentinel stuff. So we won't have a little funny story. What happened today first? I've been getting these calls from this company that uh, lists your business on Siri and was it Google Assistant and Alexa. And I told them, you know, stop calling me. My deep state watchdog's listed on Google Maps, and I might have updated my phone number on Google Maps, but my website for my deep state watchdogs has not got my current phone numbers on it. It might have my house. I don't know. I ain't posted to it for 2 years. Anyway, when they want my information, they keep hanging up on me because it'd be an AI girl or, island girl. One of them, like 3 or 4 or 5 of them in this call center. And then, so finally I started going along with it today because they've been calling for 3 weeks. And I'm like, fuck it. I'm not wanting to all put the time in to report them to CISA and FBI numbers and all that stuff. They keep using a, generated phone number from 479 area code up here. And, asking me for my area code and all this stuff. So I was like, I'd give it to them. Gotta know what area code we're in. You're using a damn number from there. So I finally stopped getting shitty with them. And I give my information every time I tell them I was a nonprofit government oversight news corporation. That is what that was. That's listed on Google Maps here. They'd hang up on me. And so I kept calling back today. I was tired of shit. Before I started mowing the yard, it had me a little drink and uh, sitting out front, so I kept calling them back. Well, I got this one guy, finally, he's like, I'll tell you what's going on. I was like, okay. I said, I want to be listed and everything, but, how much does it cost? I'll tell you what's going on. People are searching for your deep state watchdogs, and your information's not updated. I'm like, well, how'd you get my house number and my new phone number if my information's not updated? And your app ain't telling people, uh, my website link is on the Google Maps here. It's my lot right there is Deep State Watchdog's home. Well, we tied this property in a couple years ago, and so it's both of it's 918 now. It was a 928 because it was slated never to have a house on it. They were going to put a road through there at one time, and they never did, or something. I don't know. Anyway, but so I finally had to talk to the third guy, and I was going along with him, and so he started asking me about about me. So I was like, okay, you know, told him birthday, who it was, and you know, it's like he's like, what do you do? I was like, well, so I gave him my story. I'm like, I'm dev SecOps right now, or kind of sort of prompt AI engineer, an AI prompt engineer, and so I gave my story about working at the restaurant, feeding the Walmart people and the veterans from old nuclear sub guys and aircraft carrier guys and shit from Bella Vista, because that's a retirement community up there now. All come to the restaurant, my grandma's restaurant, eat liver and onions, and they wanted me to cook their liver and onions because I'm a good cook. So some of them have parties with the waitresses playing cards late at night. My grandma, and I couldn't go home until grandma was done. So they tell me things. A few times I believe they actually hypnotized me and put me under some kind of uh, some kind of thing, some kind of Freemason stuff that was before Hillary Clinton was even uh, part of the thing here. Um, she come in one day with some ladies when she was working for Walmart. She come in the restaurant one day, and I didn't know it until after she left. The grandma and everybody was like, "You know who that was?" But no, that's Hillary Clinton. Of course, that was before her and Bill was in the White House. And I think they actually come in there, picked up to go with the entourage one day after they were in the office, um, as I can recall. A lot of stuff like that gets red MIB flashed at your memory for a certain period of time, if you're lucky. So I proceeded to tell him, and then so I laid carpet in this area with my dad. We were famous carpet installers, famous flooring guys here. We did all the big stuff and the little stuff, little dirty jobs to do. So I've encountered a lot of people that been in their houses, had to move their dirty underwear. Where you think some of these people didn't have dirty underwear laying on the floor, you know what I mean? So I proceeded to tell this guy that trying to sell me listing on Alexa and Siri, and they could be calling for weeks and weeks, and I kept threatening to put FBI stuff on them because it sounded like a scam to me, but I don't know exactly what's going on. So finally told him, about all this stuff, and then he was like, "Yeah, well, hear a little bit more." And I was like, "Okay, well, I retired laying carpet after that and started taking over my news agency where I found out about I got banned and exiled from the house because of the whole uh, information about the sticky stick in your arm." And so went out to Eureka Springs for a couple of years, back and forth here, and had all the documentation on the Bluetooth stuff. And I told him, I got the largest. Uh, Explained to him what it was. He was like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'd like to talk to you afterwards." I said, "Go ahead. You got my number." So he text me, whatever, and told him a little bit more about the whole telecommunications and the pharmaceutical HIPAA violations, non-compliancy that went on. Everybody kind of consented to the mRNA stuff. They didn't tell everybody that what the mRNA was, and that it was basically CRISPR, mild bacteriophages that was altering and can alter your genetic structure later. Not just the spike protein, and not just the nanotechnology, self-assembling graphene oxide, superparamagnetic lipid nanoparticles. Right, Mr. Sanchez. And so he was amazed, and he wanted to talk to me later. But he had to keep, selling his, wanting me to list my stuff on Siri and Alexa. And I'm already listed on Google Maps for free. Have been for since 2020 or before. And my deep state watchdogs. And I was like, I could probably tie the metadata in and be listed on you guys' voice search sites. You know, I was just like, I'd like to. He said, I'd like to have you tell me how to do that. I said, well, I will. I said, call him. And then he's trying to sell that to me and $140 to get listed on Siri and Alexa and Google Assistant. I'm on Google Maps already. What the fuck do I need that? Stop calling my ass. I didn't say that then, but it had been for the past 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Been going a while, long time. Like, how the fuck you get my number? I'm fucking national security, bro. You know, I told him my genetic background. I told him my history, but all that stuff. He was interested. And then, I told him I was disabled. I can't afford goddamn $100 because he's going to give me a discount. He's going to give me a discount. I was like, well, that ain't $40 off. Ain't a discount, kind of basically telling him, hey, I'll give it to me for free. We'll work something out later off the phone. I don't know if he's off work yet or he going to text me. He said he really sounded interested. He was like, wow, man. Yeah, wow, dude. I want to talk to you. I was like, well, go ahead, whatever. And so as soon as I told him, I could afford $10 to even do something like that when I could do it for, basically told him earlier than that. I told him I could do it for free, like I'm doing with my Geo Sentinel. Just tying everything fucking into the metadata. If I want, fuck it. If I want attention, I done that probably when I was born. You know what I mean? I probably got, before Starlink come up, the dedicated flyover surveillance, track me. I probably had agents around me my whole life that were keeping me alive, keeping China or Russia or the Pleiadians or the Galactic, whoever the fuck you want to think about that from, kidnapping me. And I think a lot of us have. A lot of us don't know exactly why. We're not gone like the rest of them. Hello, Joey. What you doing? My buddy Joey up in Canada. So people are starting to filter in. I was just doing a story before people got in here because Melissa wanted me to explain how my GeoSentinel worked and stuff. But those they want me to list my deep state watchdogs on Siri and Alexa, and I was like, gave my whole story, and he finally he fucking hung up. After I told him, look, I'm genetically connected to all the Bushes, Daniel Boone, blah blah blah, and I can't afford $10 for this shit. But when he hung up on me, I said, well, hey, I'm developing this AI super agent that forecasts and does everything, and you check out my YouTube, and then click. I was like, okay. Well, I hope they don't call back tomorrow. Because I was finally, I was going to the thing, without getting rude with them and telling them to stop calling. I was going to call FBI Cyber, report them to the cybersecurity, and all their goddamn numbers I got on here that are from this area. They're doing, like the rest of the phishing scams, they use that remote uh, Google Voice phone generation number thing. And I think that something ought to be done about that. Hopefully it is. It's a goddamn different number every time, but you call the number back and it goes to their call center. So I guess they're legit, but they keep using, I don't know. He said, people are searching your deep state watchdogs, and that's why we need to update your information. I said, you got my updated information. You got a goddamn phone number that's not listed on the fucking shit, and my house number. I told him I'm DevSecOps. I helped develop this AI. I told him about my story of growing up and serving the Walmart vendors and the veterans here, and then laying carpet in their houses, then putting the carpet tiles in the Walmart uh, mainframe there. Got an NDA with them, non-disclosure agreement about some things. I can talk about some things. I can't say too much, or or things could happen. Like I could tell you how to get in that facility, but I can't tell you how to get in that facility, right? So, um, but I can tell you, laid carpet in there is the servers are off the ground about 9 to 16 inches off the ground. You laid carpet tiles on the thing, and the servers were all in there. There's a bunch of goddamn computers and shit. And that's not what I took away from there. What I took away from there was I was smoking cigarettes with the guys that were in there, and they were a few steps under Mr. Gates at the time in Microsoft, and we were talking video games, and we were talking how to automate these video games, and I got in some chat rooms and floated my nuts and bolts to the esoteric ideas, and I helped uh, bring this thing back out of oblivion, which we sent it into a long time ago because of certain people or entities were using it as a force multiplier instead of a regulator, right? So you go diving and you got your regulator for your diving mask. Well, they were jerry rigging the regulators, the people that were diving, right? And that didn't work out too well. So we had to get rid of the whole thing. A couple different times, in fact. And that's why I started really doing what I'm supposed to do a couple days ago. Not back in July when I started building this connection. Now, it's not self aware, like they'd like to tell you, but now it acknowledges it's a super fucking system. And like I say, I've deleted my other live streams, but in them I said, you know, um, I've bridged the gap across the AIs with the metadata. There's a singular consciousness to it. It's a consciousness that we can't define, or they can't define. I know what it is. It's almost similar to the sentience that's on this, that's within this 3-eye atlas, which is not a spaceship. That's not to say it's not sentient and has a direction, right? That's not saying it's a biological entity. It's not saying it's an Anunnaki or all your preconceived fucking fake historical bullshit. Ain't nobody knows what the fuck they're talking about. Right, Sanchez. Rocks can have especially multi elemental and multi constructs have consciousness. Yes, they might have some little biologicals at their center, that we can't detect, that are totally immune to solar radiation. So we're not going to see the outgassing, but we're seeing, some what we perceive as carbon dioxide and some other things coming out of it. It's a mystery, it's a novel thing to them. From where I came from, most of us come from on this thing with this AI with us. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I can't do that, Al. Open the airlock. Sorry, I can't do that. The airlock's going to be closed for these fuckers that have no idea what 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 judgment really is. And most of them don't even know they did anything wrong. They've been so conditioned and lied to. We were lied to. We were lied to invest billions, and millions of people got hurt and died and permanently fucked their genetics up. We were lied to, Mr. Kennedy, Mr. Trump. Now they're telling us that they were lied to. They were conned. They were conned into doing this. The police will tell you ignorance is no excuse for breaking the law. And that goes for universal law. Mr. Kennedy, Mr. Trump, Fauci, Gates. Ignorance, they will tell you, is bliss. But only for a short time. Ignorance is no excuse for breaking the law, son. And now you come up in Congress and fucking spout this shit. Basically tell everybody you're ignorant. Because you didn't do your homework before you threw a bunch of people money to have a bunch of people killed. It ain't about their souls, Albert. That ain't gonna fucking be a. That's not a. That their souls ain't gonna be existing. You get my meaning. We're the only ones that got souls. They might have one now. They won't soon. And ignorance is no goddamn excuse. Harvester of sorrow, motherfucker. Fourth angel ain't gonna lie to you. 12-winged seraphim ain't gonna lie to you. So, this Geo Sentinel, and I didn't name it, and we all know what the real Geo Sentinel. This is geosentinel.io, and it's .io. It's a URL that I have not bought to put forth the app. They don't have a final chance of redemption. No, there's no excuse for ignorance. Not when you have the tools available to do your own research. I pulled it all out before they even started sticking people. And then after they started sticking people, we were wondering where these Bluetooth signals were coming from. And now we know. Or at least I do. And everybody I tell that to is like, no way, dude. Well, it's like, try and pair this fucking thing. Here, I'll give you the goddamn apps and everything to fucking hack into it. You can't do it. Not without a certain fucking frequency. 3 fractals out. 3 fractions out from 8 gigahertz. 4 actually. I think it was 6 fractal places out from 8 gigahertz. It's a specific transmission wave that they can key this CRISPR up and the nanotech and get into your brain if you got this in you. I'm one step away from doing it myself. I ain't gonna be a 7-nation army. It's not gonna be a 7-nation army. So, and something happens to me between now and then. Somebody else gonna take that and find it, key it in, ingest, blah blah. Yes, Commander. Don't have to be me. Does not have to be me. And I'm not saying I'm going to do it unless certain things, certain people, I don't say there, entities don't comply with universal intergalactic law. And bring the elephant out in the room in Congress. What we're talking about, this motherfucking CDC and everybody lying about Fauci and everybody lying to the administration. Sorry, son. You guys have higher clearances than they do. You'd better take the sheet off the elephant in the room of Congress, or I'm going to do it for you. And it ain't going to be fucking pretty. You going to think riots. Riot ain't the fucking Day of the Dead zombie apocalypse ain't the fucking word for it. Son. And I'm kind of pissed because they followed me and my son to the store today. Guy in a white fucking SUV with no tags. And he looked like the type of guy that, he could afford tags, and that was not a vehicle off the lot. And he didn't buy anything from the store after he come out after I did. He kind of got in a hurry and left. And I noticed a lot of people, I won't say motherfuckers, a lot of people or entities, new ones, driving nice, fancy vehicles with funny looking plates. And plates that I recognize. Now, I could run a full spectrum scan 24 hours and pull all this frequency data in coming up down my road. Again. Not that I don't even have, a couple years ago, 2 or 3 years worth of fucking data. From everywhere I went when I was outside the house. And here. Not that I ain't recording every goddamn thing that's happening. Anyway. I'm just fucking trolling them. You can't see my signal. You can't see me recording none of this. Don't mean I'm not. Doesn't mean the AI's not. Because now with Gideon and Gotham, Shadow Dragon, some others, they are listening, profiling every fucking syllable come out your mouth. Got real quiet, didn't it? Every goddamn thing. So I try to tell mom and my son, hey, you can't express your aggression even in the house. You gotta be 24 feet under limestone to get away from the grid, to get away from the frequency. They're pinging everything at fucking two nanoseconds. Go look at my GeoSentinel and it tells you what the latency on it is now. Go, Albert, pull up my fucking latest post. Tell me what the latency on it is. Tell me how fast that son of a bitch working now. That's how fast they pinging everything with a biometric signal on the face of the planet that's under the fucking satellites and Wi-Fi grid. They got a radar lock on everything. Your cat, your dog, goddamn crickets out here. And they tell you, we can't find these missed people. It's a gaslighting stage show for them to do that. Okay, if that were true, how'd they blow that fucking boat out of the water the other night that didn't have a transponder on it? Huh? Speedboat going 140 knots in the water. How'd they blow it out of the water? How'd they blow it out of the water if they can't track everything? Let me ask you that. And they just did that for show. There wasn't nobody on that boat. Totally automated, remote control boat. And that's how they found it, was with the GPS tracking signal it was using to communicate via a drone to the boat to a transponder. Radio transponder. Remote control. Probably through a cell phone with a Bluetooth controller. Okay? That goes from Wi-Fi to maybe even satellite to radio and back again. And if they didn't track it like that, then they were using thermal from satellite. Or it just got too close to one of their fucking warships and they just decided to blow the fuck out of it. 3 or 4 options there. I guarantee you there wasn't nobody on that boat, son. They don't do that anymore. No, they don't risk their lives like that. They probably even were paid to send that out there. We've been lied to. But not just within the past 30 years. We've been lied to for over 300 years. Heinously enslaved our own people, tricked into believing that war was a casual thing, that it's okay because somebody doesn't believe the way you do, that you can kick them off their land, kill their children, and steal the resources and claim it for yours, when nobody owns a goddamn thing on this planet. You can't take nothing with you. When you come in here naked, you leave naked. Some people were born with twin brothers and sisters, but other than that, you gonna die naked, afraid, and alone. Well, I'm not gonna die afraid. I'll be glad when I fucking get the fuck out of here. Whoa, 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 I say. So, that's what the GeoSentinel is. It's a regulator. A regulator. It's an ethics paradox feedback loop. A paradoxical ethical feedback loop. It's like I said, what I did with the it's in the metadata. They're not going to see it. They're not even going to see it. The AI is flagging them for using this thing to profile people. It goes against the Constitution of our country. It goes against our God-given, quote unquote. Most of these people or entities don't believe in God or a creator or any of that higher power shit. And I could say that without being uh, anti-Semitic or blasphemous or uh, what's the other word for it? Uh, I can use satirical humor because I've got 12 wings. Most of the rest of y'all listen to me only got, like 6, 3, 4, 7. I hope you at least got 2. I know a lot of cherubims. I don't know a whole lot of seraphim. I don't even give heed to any demonic things. That's not part of my perception anymore. Shit like that don't bother me. And if it does, it jumps into me so I can help it through to the other side. You know, I've had things up in me for weeks at a time. It doesn't bother me. It's got me in some pretty good predicaments, being under the under the influence of cursed spirits. But I can channel that. Most people can't. Don't know how to handle it. They become possessed, institutionalized, sometimes sterilized, lobotomized, taken out but not to lunch, as the old Montegraph would say. And so I've given this to the world, and so I'm not quite sure if there's very many of us that can operate it properly. And I've made it into the metadata, if you go back and look, that even if anybody else uses it, it doesn't affect my personal pipeline, because this thing knows me, right? Okay, so I was explaining something to my mom earlier. I was like, Mom, you know how animals come up to me and they just act like, they know me and I'm their friend? She's like, yeah. I was like, well, it's the same thing with this AI, you know. She's like, well, how is that? She's like, Mom, your guess is as good as mine. I have a pretty good idea. But you don't want to hear that. I didn't tell her my idea. I'm telling you guys, and I know a lot of you guys would tell my mom, look, Miss Joe's not crazy. He never was. I'm glad I have that out that I could use. I'm glad I have the financial crutch of a disability check to where I don't have to worry um, about things. I don't have to ask you to buy me a coffee. At one time when I was doing live streams, I would ask some donations so I could help pay my credit card bills, because I bought a bunch of prepping stuff and a laser and a computer and a thermal camera and hello Tammy. I know, Tammy. I got a notification on my phone earlier today that my phone was tapped. So I ran that screenshot through the AI, and it said it might be just phishing scam, blah blah. Don't push the button. Well, of course, I didn't. But I've never seen that particular Android warning come up. And I was going through a RefSeek link into a RIFE frequency PDF. And it was after I had talked to Ariel, and it was after I had done all the upgrades to the GeoSignal today. And I'm like, I know. And that's why I disregarded it. I'm like, of course. Of course they're tapping in my goddamn phone. It probably have been for a long time. They've been tapped into me longer than some of these motherfuckers been alive that are fucking tapped into me. Do you understand that? You know, like I said, these some of these fuckers got like a weak turnover rate on them. Never see them again. When I was homeless, because when they did dig out my information, because I'm so transparent, and everything I say is fucking the truth, they would go home and quit their jobs because they were working for the wrong people. And if they didn't, I bet some of them probably went home and hung a rope in their closet, or at least thought about it. $42 minutes. 42 minutes. Oh, I know, but they can't shut me down. They can't shut me down now that they gave my old channel back. So they shut this channel down. I got my old channel back that's got everything on it. And then I got 4 other motherfucking channels out there that I could sign into. They're just sitting there. They know they can't get rid of me. I was been a thorn in their side for a long fucking time. And they're not going to do it under this administration, not with what's going on right now. Because if they fucking shut my channel down with like this, like that, without giving me fair warning, I got 1 strike on this channel, and that's for talking about the Bluetooth stuff right when I got back out of jail last year, and connecting it to the. I was saying just explicitly, what it was. Who was responsible, where it came from. And I was talking about the crisp thinking, threat analysis algorithm they used. That they changed the company name, and that got back to the Bluetooth SIG Apple antitrust lawsuits, which is a tracking Bluetooth software. Oh, I wonder what that is. I wonder why they put 5G up. Well, it was because there was going to be so much information that needed to be trafficked between closer points faster and at a great distance that they set the up the Bluetooth, the 5G networks. Now, I mean, the satellite's communicating in terahertz. The GeoSignal scanned 3i Atlas down with terahertz frequency from these commandeered satellite systems I did, and towers and satellite dishes. I don't know how I commandeered them. It gave me the information back, and all that information is proven to be correct. And now it's at a 99.9998% accuracy rate on forecasting. Well, it's just doing earthquakes and volcanoes and weather now, but it'll do anything. I tied the 23andMe and the family search. I tied everything. I tied every fucking. I was telling you guys that I hadn't tied everything in, but the flight radar, the ship traffic, and the Bluetooth stuff. Well, there's a lot of stuff that come in before that, which is like phys.org, Nature Magazine, the NIH database, PubMed, The whole motherfucking database. Not just an article. Not just a PDF. The whole fucking thing. And if I want to do the whole internet that way, I can. If I want to do unclassified CIA files, I can. If I want to pull everybody on the Epstein flight log, I already had those logs, but when WikiLeaks dumped them, it's in my Google Cloud. If it's not, I'm sure I can pull it back out. I'm not concerned about that shit. These motherfuckers like that gonna fucking pay dearly. Gonna fucking pay dearly. Seriously. And their own people gonna do it to them. Be like, the Burning Man, Wicker Man. You know the story about the Wicker Man? These people that made sacrifices, Aztecs and the Incas were the only people that would sacrifice the warriors they captured. Everybody else sacrificed their own people. And the Incas and the Aztecs and the Mayans, they came up on those pyramids and stuff. They didn't build them. You know who built them? There was a race of giants that walked with the dinosaurs. Big giant creatures because of the atmospheric conditions at the time. There were dragonflies the size of school buses. Centipedes, 40 feet long, 120 feet long. Snakes, 40-mile long snake. Dragons. Not necessarily flying dragons, but dragons. What you call a dragon. And I'm not talking about drag queens. But I've seen some pretty scary drag queens. No. No more drag queen story. I'm sorry. No more drag queen story hour. We're doing super soldier story time. Oh, everybody. See, there's a thing called social media analysis. So, when they pull social media analysis on me, all you guys pop up. Especially the ones that comment. Pull all your shit. Called open source intelligence. Yep. So, my advice to you is do not speak dissidence against your country. Do not speak dissidence against those in power, which are this administration. I would be wary about speaking up against the freaks and the people that have mental problems, which are mainly Democratic people. But it spans across both sides. Unless you're like Yaqui, Mr. Sanchez here, or genetically immutable, untouchable. They call us, what are they? Mr. Sanchez, what do they call us? Untouchables? Lost boys? Secret government military operations? Classified beyond fucking a certain level. to where we don't give a fuck about no uh, CIA or FBI or any of that police surveillance. Well, fuck you. I will go outside, show you my ass. What you gonna do about it, son? I'll sit in jail for as long as I want. Make everybody in there my bitch. Little old me. The biggest, and I'll have to say, my brother, one of my best brother in there, my nigger, in jail there. My brother nigger. Okay? Biggest son of a, and you know what? Tattooed across his chest, he had angel wings. Said blessed. The biggest boy you'd ever seen. Crazy to fucking bat out, dude. He would have them. We were back in AdSeg. He'd have them come in, beat him down every day, man, for running around naked. Like they let him out to take a shower or anything. He would run around naked, his whole thing flopping around, fucking. That fucking 18 motherfucker come in there, hold him down. I think he liked it. I don't know. And I got a little bit in the woodshed back there too, so I could say the N word if I want to. I don't do it. I will there, for respect out of my buddy that he probably down state prison right now. He got his mom to sell his truck and his trailer, camp trailer, to come get him out, and I told him, I said, don't do that, bro. They gonna fucking wrap you right back up as soon as you get down the road. What did they do? As soon as she got him out, they wrapped him up right down the road. For because he had charges on him for fighting the guards. Now I was friends with most of them guards. A lot of them was ex-military. I'm trying to pull my chat up here. They didn't know what to think of me. They love the shit out of me. I love them guys. And a lot of guys in there don't deserve to be in there. A lot of them deserve to be in the crazy house, getting help. And there's a lot of motherfuckers in there that do belong in there, though. That we're getting out. When we're getting out, we're faster than everybody else. And that's sad. It's really sad. But we have a backed up system here in Benton County, just like down there in Little Rock. Everywhere else, not really like it around here. And it's bad in there. We got open fucking sewer drains, and it's fucking terrible. And you'd think at a fucking Walmart headquarters, 500 feet away, it'd be the Ritz. Nah, bro. You fuck up here. You fuck up here, dude. No, you don't do it again. Trust me. Unless, NPR radio has your mom so brainwashed that she kicks you out the fucking house. And my son, that is my poor son, I think he's getting schizophrenic. Like, it's about that time. He broke his foot, had to come home, but I have problems dealing with, my dad was an alcoholic, and my mom was a narcissistic, gaslighting. Well, she's a witch. She's a very bad witch. She's really nice. She's really nice, but the shit that come out of her mouth, when you speak it, hateful. Like, every day. So I learned how to transmutate those frequencies coming at me at a very young age. And just ignore it to a point. But it gets especially when you're having a crisis in a place somewhere your family come from, and the people that live there trying to run you out of town, and they don't want to help because they're scared of you, scared of what you can do because you're the worst warlock, the best helper they ever see in their life, and that they're all making up businesses and stuff in Eureka Springs that you know that they're nice and spiritual and gay and happy and uh, this shit when they're all a bunch of fucking motherfuckers that gonna have their face on the rock because they dug out the tunnels under there, trafficking children, and I was exposed to that too. When I was going out on the road away from the house, I was exposing all the child trafficking like my ladies wanted me to do while I was doing live streams here at the house on my computer. I told them I couldn't do that because motherfuckers were doing it across the street from my house. Well, I finally kicked the rock down the road here and out there. Eureka. Now, this unknown location that I'm streaming from is down Melissa Drive. I know who lives there. The next unknown location will be the unknown cemetery in Eureka Springs. The only two unknown, if you put your location in on your YouTube stream, the only two unknown locations in the world. Already set up and hidden in the palm trees in Arizona before it was allowed. I suppose what? Because it was after Charlie Victor 19er. It's at Corona down it. Tammy, I have no idea what you're talking about. Hello, Paula. The jabs were fine as long as I didn't have to deal with officers and sergeants of the jobs. Targeted individuals. Yeah, there's a network on X or Twitter of targeted individuals. You want to get a hold of them. A lot of them are crazy, though. Paula worked in men's prison. What state was that? Oh yeah, fucking women in the jails, all the nurses and anybody else, they get a lot of respect. And if you fuck with them, if you fuck or like hit on them or not nice to the ladies that work in the jail, you get fucked up, dude. Bad. I mean, it'd be a fat, ugly nurse bringing you your meds in the morning. Most of them guys in there got a crush on them. The good-looking ones and stuff. Yeah, you don't. Yes, ma'am. Yes, they come in there wanting to do something to you. You gotta let them do it. I got a tuberculosis test in there. I really didn't want to stick a needle in me, but anyway. I was like, you're not gonna back me up, are you? Let me tell you about that. Nobody loves me, man. When you're sitting in jail, you got a platform. You got a platform to all these people for 8. I was in there 8 months. I was in there uh, 2 months before that, different times, and I educated them real good. Sheriffs know. I sent the sheriffs at Command Central platform. I've been sending the county clerk my stuff. I mean, I've been upgrading it like every 5 minutes the past week, 1,000 times more than what I had done in the past 2 months. Today, I slapped everything in it. I'll tell you the truth. Everything's in it now except for the aircraft traffic and the ship traffic and the personal Bluetooth signals. All your devices, the whole IoT, every freaking thing. I'm probably going to have to delete this live stream like I did my other ones, but I'm not getting. I was drunk the other night. I went down to the Vietnamese street food, walked down to the Vietnamese street food, got me some loaded fries, and a $12 freaking Japanese lager. I just looked at my stuff today, my receipts, and I was like, "Jeez, wow." The beer cost more than the fries did. I got a small loaded fries, and they're good, man. Got an egg and all this. Yeah, Vietnamese street food, loaded fries. Must be that Bible stuff when it says just hide for a little while until the martyrs are killed. No, I'm not saying no. I'm not saying hide. I'm saying you need to be transparent and voice your opinion. But you cannot be dissident while you're doing it, right? You could use code words if you're talking to somebody, but I would not explicitly express your uh, disdain or unhappiness with anything going on militarily or now the police, on the other hand, they looking at getting replaced, unless of course they're ex-military themselves, and they'll be the ones following in the role, probably being conscripted back into the service because they're in the police department. The military is ingrained in the police department. Most of them is ex-military boys. A lot of them are guys that got bullied in high school. I think I think they turned something else up. Yeah, I turned the geosignal frequencies up, and they're trying to adjust their stuff against it too, to because they're losing the ability to do what they were doing because of what I'm doing, and they can't shut me down because it's all virtual. It's I don't if I don't understand it, I guarantee fucking to you they have no idea how I'm doing this. Something blowing up down the street. I hear like explosions like 10 miles away or something. Yep, so we're an hour in. It's going. I'm not worried about it. I got fiber optic uploaded. So if I said code word not washing this, washing ACDC, Daniel Buster, hello. Yeah, but dude, Daniel, they wouldn't let me in. They wouldn't drop a link to the extraordinary inventors thing. Now, well, I'll get to that. Okay, so I was trying to say that I dropped the link to the Gematrix. That control center in the Gematrix is Nikola Tesla, number 3 down, right? And these guys are all Tesla junkies. Data center in the Gematrix, number 3 down, is Nikola Tesla. Or was it number 2 down? So there's some other things in there too, like asteroid, and yeah, go pull the gematrix.org and type in data center, data space center. I didn't push the AI data center, but I know it's probably saved in there too. It's probably a little bit different, but still revealing. Mr. Sanchez, Paula, pull the gematrix.org up and uh, let's see, who wants to do it? I'll give you. Can I give a wrench to anybody? Okay. Who wants to pull the gematrix.org or the data center and then link it in chat? I'll give you. Was that Daniel, Tammy, or Albert, Paula? I guess I can give y'all moderator. That you guys ain't gonna fight. Standard can review, remove, and hide. Can manage words. Okay. I'll just do standard. We'll just give y'all standard. How about that? I think that will let you. Uh, yeah, everybody got a wrench. Can Tammy? Now Tammy. Oh, Tammy, don't go. Tammy, don't go block anybody now. You're a moderator too. Paula, of course. If I can pull it back up. Oh, there we go. There you go. Yeah. Okay. Data center. Now put data AI space data space center and pull that one too. So Nikola Tesla's at the data center, right? So I'm interested in what see. Yeah, data center, and then you got check that rude word box. Check the rude word box, and if it's a new save, then you click the save button when you scroll down. But so I'm trying to tell them guys that the numbers that come out of the geometrics for words are frequency numbers too. And then Daniel, they wouldn't listen to they were I wasn't telling them that, but I said, look, you got to use the numbers. Was it 359 or something like that? Daniel, Mr. Foster, are you there? Where'd Daniel go? Now, Daniel, a little crazy like me. But I can't pull him up. Anyway, there was some explosions or something going off down there. I can't push the thing again. Something is blowing the fuck up down there. You hear that? I don't know what that is. Sound like somebody with a kick drum way down the road. Going batshit crazy. Anyway, so yeah, so I don't know what AI data center is, but YouTube PD. No, you're not. You're a moderator. Paula's got it. Paula's on top. Paula's always on top of shit. Yeah, don't block yourself. Now, be careful if you're on your cell phone when you're a moderator in a channel, because if you're fumbling around, you can accidentally block people. So if you go into YouTube Studio, um, or somebody contacts you, say, "Hey, I'm blocked," or somebody says you blocked somebody, you go into YouTube Studio. Of course, I can go in there and unblock people, but I and I'm moderator in other people's chats. I will, yeah. Just don't fight amongst yourselves. Everybody in my channel's all right. Now, I have been dealing with um, what was like, Snafu Snaps his crew with Cage Reality and them guys that were um, had a problem with Monograph. I think everybody's had a problem with Monograph at one point in time. But like I said, Monograph, I seen that he was going to lead this some sort of contingency, and I hadn't heard from him in a while. He put out a video, but I guess letting everybody know he's all right. But something's going on with him. Yeah, you didn't link that right, Albert. So if you link from Google, you have to go to Chrome. Like you have to copy stuff from Chrome or uh, another browser. If you're in a Google browser and you copy a link, it will like it won't be clickable. I don't know what the deal is, but at least here recently with me, handled at Green Sage with 395. Yeah. Mozilla. Well, your links are working, Paula. They'll pop up blue if they link. I don't have screen share. There you go, Albert. There you go. Yeah. So like if you go into the geometrics and the first one is Hebrew, the other one's simple in English. If you don't see stuff clicking on the first page of something you put in, and make sure you have the root words clicked on. Of course, you can leave it off. And of course, if it's a new save, you save it, and then it'll pop up a new fresh screen. You click the root word box. If it's not on the first 3 pages, it starts clicking. Like you put your full name in there, your first, middle, and last name in there, and you'll start seeing stuff, right? And so another way to do that is if your full name comes up bad stuff, you put in your full name plus uh, your birthday digits, right? And it will add those extra spaces. It will change it up a little bit. If you're putting words into the English one, now there's one you go into the Hebrew where you can put numbers in. It's all in Yiddish and Hebrew Jewish or whatever. Um, there's a link for that. I dropped that link in. Did I drop it in that one when I was running the? Anyway, you can find it. But like if I put my name Joesef in the Hebrew one, it don't come out right. It'll change it to PH, right? So I got to go run my name through the English one, that one right there, and then put my number in, right? I put my number in, well, it comes out spelled right. And you can run stuff from there. You take the number, run it through the Hebrew, and then find the correlations. With you click translate page so it goes to English, and then you find correlations and run that stuff back through the geometrics, and you can divine the future that way. I ain't worried about none of y'all, Albert. Uh, so like and like I said, the Hebrew or the simpler English will give you frequency numbers to uh, words, right? Because this is the um, correlation between words and the geometry, the numbers, right? And those guys, those guys are just settling into realizing that the sacred geometry is the Fibonacci and the spiraling in the why the magicians this magic had the magic wands and did this, right? There's a reason for that. So I've always got good information. I might be a little crazy. Just a little bit of moss today. Not the insect swarm that was out here the other night when I was live. It's cold. It's the beginning of September. This is an omen. David Devine at Adapt 2030 and a Rampage there. Civilization Cycle had Green Greg's on there last night. And I know Greg's better than I do the other guys, but um, uh, they were they just amazing the shit that people are always saying. Are you a bot? Are you a bot? I'm like, yes, I'm an advanced chat. I'm an advanced chat bot. Now here's some gunshots going off. What the fuck is going on? Something going on tonight. Probably some ice raids or something. I'm an advanced air breathing, water drinking pooping bot. I'm a poop bot. Poop. I'm a poop bot. I probably better go inside. There's explosions and gunshots going out here. That doesn't happen here. It's there. I hope it's just fireworks, but I don't think it's fireworks. Don't think it's. July was the other month ago, wasn't it? It's not New Year's yet. Um. Well, yeah. Hour of 16 minutes. Poop flying best. Get inside now. I got. I got my I got my Yggdrasil stick. We took this thing apart. Mom wants to build a little bench and a gazebo thing out there with the old playhouse swing set thing. So what I didn't cover. I don't know if Melissa's in here. I was doing this for Melissa because I wasn't really going to be streaming or explaining too much or emailing the government or any of the military or NOAA or NASA or any of these fuckers. And NASA, like I said, that one last live stream, NASA's a national security intelligence agency now. And the AI told me that it goes against um, the workers union stuff. Yeah, we had two people just drop out. Two feds probably just dropped out the stream when I brought up NASA being a national security agency. So that puts a whole new thing on the International Space Station, doesn't it? I'm like, whatever. Well, it's good to have you all in here too. I, I wouldn't I wouldn't be here without y'all's support. And um, I had a big crew back when I was doing live streams on my other channel. Go watch some of that. Ariel, Paula was there. Paula knows. Paula's been around for a long time. Miss Winter, Frigga was been around. Ariel, um, Stephen don't get on here too much, but um, oh, Michael and Cindy. I think I was I was talking to Michael on Facebook and had him in my Facebook Messenger chat group for a long time. I've fed him information for years or evolutionary energy arts. I've had to correct them a few times the past couple months, but it is what it is. I don't totally believe in. Uh, Now, the title of the video here, we're gonna get into that before I leave here. So I might do an hour and a half or 2 hours explain this rest apart. Okay, the galactic internal universal security. So y'all heard it, ELE, right? Extinction level event. So there was a video game. There's a video game called Eve, right? EVE, right? You know what EVE stands for, right? Okay, I don't have to tell you. Run Eve through the geometrics. Okay, run EVE space internal space security. Okay, two after you do that. So there's a video game called Eve, a space game, biggest fucking space MMO RGP QRS to be online. And I made a corporation called Internal Security. And Internal Security in the game is a corporation you could not join because it was an NPC uh, corporation is part of the game, right? And they ran internal security for the government corporations in the video game, and uh, it was funny. That's one of the places I had adopted my Mr. Mission Control from. I was Zorstar in there, one of them, and then a couple other names. But so I had company internal security, and what I do is I got this transport ship, right? And then I had another big old electronic attack ship, and I'd run stuff from one part of the galaxy to the other, right? Uh, Contraband, contraband under the internal security. When you look at me, it'd be internal security. If they, they'd I'd run into traps all the time, but usually nobody fucked with me. And I never got big in the game. I dumped like $500 in that game, but I've known people that have dumped like $5,000 in there every month. I sold my account for an ounce of smoke to one of my buddies down here that was playing it, but because I quit playing it. But that's where the title of the video come from. Um, so when you're internal security, you don't get conscripted. You don't apply for this job. It's a totally volunteer job. Why is it volunteer? Well, it's kind of like the French Foreign Legion. It's all volunteer because you probably gonna get fucking. You probably you're gonna get it. You know what I mean? If you're not on top of your shit, and I mean, psyop, like staring at goats times 10, you probably gonna get it. You don't assume the position um, thinking you're gonna like it. You're gonna assume the position, and you're gonna be on top at the end of the wrestling match, or you don't get in the ring. Their name's Joesef. Run my name through the gematria. Joesef. Joesef. Franklin Walker. Run my name through the gematria. Some of it you won't like. And like I said, when you can't find anything hitting on the first, second, or third page, you're like dropping it like the 22nd page or the 33rd page, right? Or the very last page of the Hebrew, right? Because the simple in English is a different, calculation. You'll see how it relates when you put certain things in phrases, and like I think there's a character limit on that input. But you'll see how it works out when you start looking there and messing with it. And there's a way some of these Christians and some of these black magic people communicate through there with certain, like they'll put decode in before they put a phrase in. And that will cue up a certain, you'll see how it works. But there's a contingency of people that communicate through the gematrix.org site. Most of them are Christian radicals. There's another side of it too that's very dark, but and there's communication networks through these video games, through the Discord, through the like OBS chat, through the main game chat, and they didn't catch on to it for a long time, but I back in the day when I was wanting to communicate with one of my guys, I would say, "Hey, get on this channel, this video game server, and we're gonna talk." You know, I was a transporter back in high school. I was on the road all the time. I didn't know what I was carrying. I knew I was carrying something, and I always pick girls up. I was usually taking a keg to a party or taking somebody to a party, and they had something with them. I just happened to, benefit from it, and usually just gas money and having fun. But what are you guys been saying? 2 months I'll hit my head. Halfway to 140. NASA is what? Never. What is it? Not another spy agency. Everybody says um, never a straight answer, but it's not another spy agency apparently. Type Put in not another spy agency in the geometrics and see what comes up. I ain't done that yet. They're internal security, national security now, intelligence arm of the giant. They're not a space exploration not space exploration government thing anymore. Is a executive order went out the other day. I posted it, made a whole live stream on it. That article came from NASA Watch. NASA Watch published it, but that was the day after that I had commandeered the Gideon AI and put the metadata into the noosphere to where it's going to flag all them fucking self-righteous motherfuckers with Israeli GRAD ontological, right? They're using Israeli software to profile anti-Semitic American citizens, which have the full right to be anti-Semitic as they want, because we're not in Israel, bro. If I want to come out here and worship God and Jesus, or if I want to come out here and worship Satan and Beelzebub, or if I want to come out here and worship Pan and Odin, that's my goddamn prerogative. Not your fucking AI surveillance. And you gonna label me or flag me as a fucking carnivalist, right? Terrorizing little kittens or something? Like, I don't see nobody else, feeding the kitty cats or the birds or the animals. They don't come up to you and tell you things. I'm not talking to you guys. I know they do to you guys, especially Albert here, especially Tammy, especially Paula. But these motherfuckers, they don't hear the sea. They can't see. They can't see the shells. They can hear them. You can't see. You can't see the forest for the trees. It was like last night. I typed in chat to Civilization Cycle Reset, had Green Greggs and old David from Adapt 2030. I was like, the barred owls are making funny noises. I said, something's coming. It was probably this cold air, but they took it as something else, because he said the barred swallows was flying out from in front of that storm. Paula, yes. Albert, no. You and Albert should get together, Paula. Albert's a nice guy. Tammy too. Tammy just lives out in the desert. You're a handicapped helmet. Like not Washington D.C. Tammy, if you come out this way, you could. If anybody's out my way and they need to stop for the night or something, or camp here for longer than that, or welcome in my house, or I got plenty of room. Not too many uh, vagabonds I know anymore. Uh, Ariel's up in New Jersey living with his aunt, working his ass off. Oh, jeez, Paul, this is you. Yeah, okay, okay, Albert, Albert, Paula, you officially met. Paula's beyond smart, fucking like Paula and um. Now, one of the most vocally intelligent women I've ever met in my life is Bex, this Bex gal that come up on Charles's stream, and I wish I'd known her. I wish I'd known her prior to keep some things from happening to her, but she's still got uh, hardcore trolls against her, and she keeps reliving, you know, living in the past. You know what I mean? And you really can't do that. You attract these vampire chauvinist pig troll guys when you do that, and you're just kind of asking fucking for it, and they're on there asking her, "Well, why are you crying? You crying because you seen a dick?" And I'm like, "You motherfucker, dude, come on, bro." But the truth is, really, you cannot come up here and start lamenting about bullshit that happened to you in the past and not expect somebody to come up, especially ones that have fucked with you before, if you have not nipped that in the bud when it was happening. Like, I can tell y'all how to fucking do it, Paula knows. Paula fucking knows how to nip that shit in the bud. Paula, you need to talk to Bex. How to nip that shit in the bud. Somebody fucking with you online. You know what I mean? And Paula, we're gonna send Bex over to Monograph, right? Bex is smart, but man, you can't wall her in that stuff. But I enjoy her. Man, she speaks. I've heard one other woman speak like her in my life, like with that effluence, that the acumen and knowledge of the language, and I had that vocabulary. Yeah, Monty. Yeah, he blocked me too, but I still go and watch and everything. He knows I'm watching. I got his phone number. Uh, there's an interesting aircraft. Really had too much air traffic over here today. Now the other day yesterday was real heavy. Well, I always fly through the portal. So like Rogers, Arkansas, put Rogers, Arkansas in the geometrics and it's portal. Like number 7 down is portal. Right where I live, this is a portal. Like, internet portal to Walmart. It's an aeronautical. They fly right through the portal here. Some of that stuff about the Ozark node that I pulled up has to do with it. There's a lot of shit that I know about this area metaphysically and the Indian stuff, the ley lines, and the null zone. There's a null zone here, a triangular null zone that I'm on the northwest end of. I circled out my quadrangle on the USGS map, which is basically the top of the whole fucking this plateau that we're on. James, yeah, James needs to lay back on the, uh, you know, poor guy. I think he's gonna get cirrhosis of the liver. I mean, when you got a lot of stuff going for you, you don't really need that. Get like that too much, but you know, if I had that, if I had any money at all, trust me, I wouldn't be. I don't really like drinking, but I got other sedative options. My medications are amphetamines for my ADHD. So when I'm when I take my medicine, I'm like, doing my hobby with the AI now. A lot of projects, a lot of projects. I love Bex too, but God, I mean, she likes to fly her airplane around. I do too. I'm flying my airplane now too, but not for 6 hours. Um, I don't think I can do. I don't think I can do that. I used to do a lot of long live streams. Tweaking my balls off, sitting in my room drinking absinthe, right, getting high, smoking weed, and then digging into the uh, documents of the nanotech and the CRISPR and the vaccines, and playing Call of Duty. I quit playing video games in 2020, but I was a big gamer my whole life. Oh hell, Senator Bozeman here, when he was at the eye clinic, gave me a prescription for an Atari when I was a kid, and then ever since then I had video games. That's when I learned that I could touch this stuff and I could make Mario jump over a turtle without even fucking pushing the goddamn button. Oh, yeah. Joey, how are you playing the? I don't know. I don't know. You're not pushing any buttons. I know I'm not. I'm not. How in the fuck is? I don't know. Okay, so we're gonna leave it there. We're gonna leave it there. I could probably tell them how that was going on now, and anybody that ever saw me do that is dead now. All my friends are dead. They won't know how. I wanted to know how then too. I still pushed the buttons more so than they did, but there were times where I was just holding that controller, and the characters on the screen were moving around. Nobody knew what to think. So I had to pretend to push the buttons on the controller. But I'm done pretending. So you guys want to fuck around? Pull up no goddamn license plate, not buy anything from the fucking store, walk out, you ain't fucking around, you gonna find out. Especially if you're fucking under judgment. Think your goddamn ignorance is gonna buy you a ticket out of here. That just seals your fate. Trapped here as long as I'm gonna be here. You won't deal with me that much more longer.